So hey y'all, I know this is not how I do my intros, but like I've said, YouTube really thinks they're slick, and I'm sorry, but no. Because no. Basically, they are literally trying to demonetize a lot of my content. I put up a video a few days ago. I made $2 from it. There's like a whole rant that I'm gonna go on very soon because they are really playing with black creators, and I just feel like enough is enough. So I'm breaking my videos down. This video will probably get flagged. I don't care. I still want to get my message out there. I worked hard on it. So without further ado, let's get into this Janelle Monae video. So first up, we have Janelle Monae flashing her boobies during her performance at Essence Fest 2023. Of course, this is shocking, but it's now becoming normal as it relates to her because this isn't her first time showing herself in the nude or simply having my jaw drop to the pits of hell because I'm witnessing such a distinct change. Now, let's backtrack. Janelle Monae is an American singer, rapper, and actress. She's been Grammy nominated. She's won awards for acting. She's very talented. She's been active since the early 2000s, and she's currently 37 years old. Janelle's initial look wasn't what it is now, and I think that's obviously the reason why people are having commentary on the things that she's been doing. Of course, she's a grown woman and she's free to do whatever, but let's be honest, it is a major contradiction to what we viewed her as before. She only used to wear black and white, she used to wear button-up tops, pantsuits, and kind of played on the aesthetic of androgyny. And I say that to be honest, not to be offensive, but that's the look that it gave. I feel like she really owned her look as well, and it gave her a distinction because it is out of the norm for a performer like herself to be a little bit more reserved and conservative. Usually with singers and actors and rappers, they have more of the bold style with different types of glamorous glitter pieces and cutouts and costumes that are more revealing. So the first incident of her flashing her privates was back in May. She was doing a performance and she just decided to lift up her shirt and show her breasts. According to this article, it says, Janelle Monae fans go wild after singer flashes boobs during racy performance to unveil topless album cover. She threw her fans into a frenzy as she posed in an extremely raunchy video showing her rising from the pool in a wet white t-shirt and no bra, revealing her big cleavage. Janelle Monae surely knows how to get people excited about their upcoming album as she flashed her boobs during a raunchy performance and unveiled the art for her soon-to-be released album, which also featured them topless after setting tongues wagging with a wet t-shirt video. The 37-year-old musician, who identifies as non-binary and uses both they/them and she/her pronouns, recently appeared on stage while wearing a cropped pleasure t-shirt that she lifted up to show off her chest. And Janelle unquestionably appeared to be engrossed at the moment as they swayed and grooved on stage before doing the surprise boob flashing. Janelle was wearing a crop top and red running shorts, which she accessorized with a royal blue beret and a tiny white bag that clung to their hips. The Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery actress, had her hair down beneath her stylish hat and their eyes were painted with white stars. Meanwhile, she confirmed that The Age of Pleasure, the band's fourth full-length album, will be released on June 9th. Fans are raving over the album art, which shows the stunning model swimming under the legs of 4 people while entirely topless. Janelle had a large smile on her face and appeared to be thoroughly enjoying the freedom of the skinny dip. So I skimmed through the article a bit more, and there was a tweet that said, the tweet about everyone noticing Janelle Monae's sex appeal ever since she stopped dressing like the Monopoly Man was 100% accurate, which is low-key funny. So I think people are questioning why she is doing this, as am I, and just from a little bit of research, not really looking too deeply into this, as well as my own assumption, Janelle Monae is falling into the new age woman empowerment movement that is telling and encouraging women to showcase their sexuality as a way to contest and fight the war on women and the presence of patriarchy. In layman's terms, basically, girls are showing their ass and titties so they feel liberated from the male gaze and how men have been policing women's bodies for centuries. So recently, Janelle Monae basically did the same thing again, but this time she was at Essence Fest. So according to this article on page 6, it says, Janelle Monae exposes her breasts to packed crowd at Essence Fest. Janelle Monae flashed her right boob to the audience at the 2023 Essence Festival in New Orleans. The Make Me Feel singer took the stage in a black and white geometric pattern set that consisted of a bikini top, shorts, and a matching hat. At one point during the live performance, Monae lifted up one side of her top to reveal her breast. The 37-year-old's perky bust was partially censored as it had a pink flower-shaped sticker discreetly covering her nipple. However, this is not the first time Monae has flashed her breast in recent months. Now, I feel like every single time I talk about these topics, the word pick me gets thrown around because because as soon as you speak against women who are comfortable in their sexuality, or in most cases, women who are just following the trend of acting like they're comfortable exposing their private parts, you get called every name under the sun. And my problem with that is that I don't really see the progress that women are saying that they're making by doing this. I don't really see how this is truly combating patriarchy and how men subject women to being viewed this way. I mean, basically what we're doing is fighting fire with fire and not fighting fire with water. The answer isn't to cover up and be modest women. Of course not, because like I always say, you could be wearing a turtleneck and a floor-length skirt and you can still be sexualized and even worse, sexually assaulted. But at the same time, how do women expect women to be taken seriously about how they want their bodies to be perceived if we're passing out tickets to a free concert of exposure? If I was a man right now, I would be so giddy with how easily I can get on the internet and see everything that even the most revered women have. We saw Tracy Ellis Ross post a random impromptu picture of herself with no shirt on, and the woman is 50 years old. She is very much grown and she looks great, but I still don't understand the point. I feel like women think that doing this is taking our power back, when in reality, you're just giving more power to men. There's no way that it makes sense in our heads that if we show our bodies freely and under our decision, then that somehow eradicates the negativity that can come from both men and women. If I was a man right now, I would be accepting all of these free tickets and collecting my 200 as I pass go every single time I get on social media, because really it is free porn all over social media. And like I said, it's even coming from women who are famous or prestigious in their field of work. So I'll come back to that, but someone who wasn't here for what Janelle Monae did was India Arie. What I've noticed with black women is that black women get upset when other black women promote respecting ourselves. If somebody wanting to be viewed in a more positive light makes you feel that you're being attacked, you just need some more confidence, because there's no way that anybody should be offended that there's a sector of black women who don't agree with this imagery, or even if they do agree with it, they think that there's a time and place. I personally just think there's a time and place for all of this stuff, but sexual expression is so mainstream and such a focal point in everything, it's kind of exhausting now. So India Arie took to her Instagram to express her distaste of not only what Janelle Monae did, but Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion basically had a twerk contest on the main stage of Essence Fest during her performance. And of course, Meg Thee Stallion is pretty much known for how good she can twerk, her knees, her raunchy songs, being someone who is confident in her sex appeal. So it is normal for a Meg Thee Stallion performance to look the way that it did. But India Arie felt away, and here's what she had to say. She says, "The issue is, what is context? Humanity does everything, but does everything belong in a stage? No. Is everything for kids? No. Is everything for everybody? No. So when we as a culture make something like this mainstream, it shows a lack of discretion and discernment. To those in the comments who laugh at anyone who wants these things for our culture, you certainly have that right. Just as many folks have the right to want our mainstream international export, our music, to show us in a respectful light. I'd like to go on the record saying, this won't age well, and that's my issue. I love Janelle and Meg the way I love us all, and I don't like this moment. Don't bother debating me, LOL. I don't care. I do this. For 25 years, I've done this. So read, ponder, or don't." She then took to her Instagram story to say more, and she says, "I'm open for a smart debate or a real conversation, but I don't do this social media self-propelled outrage BS. I put me first in my life. I do this self-care thing for real. I do not make a practice of publicly criticizing my sisters. My thoughts are around Essence Festival and context, which really is logic. I'm not addressing this anymore. Peace. Why is it so hard for people to understand? It's crazy to me the level of explanation needed. And why is everything a thing? It's you, not me, LOL. Now, here comes my commentary. Okay, back to me. Hi guys, I'm Chioma. I'm pretty sure most of y'all know what I'm gonna say, which is, I told you so. I told y'all that eventually enough women will wake up and realize that this won't last. This isn't some type of positive benefit to the image of women, specifically black women. We're already sexualized. This isn't the way to challenge patriarchy and combat the insidious displeasures of men. This isn't the answer. And I love when my commentary ends up being reality, because in the beginning it's, oh, you're reaching or you're this or that. But when the facts come and present themselves, now everybody wants to pull from those talking points to now say that they don't agree with what is going on. But why does it have to take for somebody as prestigious as India Arie to tell y'all how this is going to go when the average everyday black woman such as myself has been said this? But you know what? It is what it is. So one thing I want to talk about in regards to what NIGERIAN said was how she addressed that her thoughts are about Essence Fest most of all, and the context. I 1000% agree. Referencing the article that Essence wrote about Keke Palmer announcing her pregnancy back in 2022, that's when my antenna started to go up about Essence. I don't know if y'all remember, but they put out an article basically saying that yes, Keke Palmer is an unwed, soon-to-be mother at the time, and that people should get over it. They specifically said that people should get over it. And I found this to be so surprising coming from Essence because I feel like the connotation of Essence magazine and their entire brand and publication is supposed to be showing Black women and women of color in their best light. And let's be real, being a baby mama to a man who doesn't make nowhere near as you and isn't on your level for real isn't showing Black women in their best light. And I love Keke Palmer. We're gonna get to her in this video. But I felt like it was honest for me to say that I don't really agree with her choice because of the optics that it gives for Black women, regardless of her financial triumph. So it was crazy to me that Essence would put out an article basically saying that nobody should care about how this looks. I understand that nobody should care about what another grown woman chooses to do with her life and her womb, of course, but we can address the realities of these choices. So that was my first red flag with Essence because I never knew Essence to promote Black women in the light that would or could hinder them. And then to tell people to not care. Like, huh? And then for them to host Essence Festival this year and have Megan Thee Stallion and Janelle Monae pull the stunts that they did, it made me question them again. Like, yo, is their CEO or editor-in-chief a millennial or Gen Z who doesn't really care about the perception of Black women anymore, or what happened? I respect Essence as a brand. I would always read their magazines, especially when I would go get my hair done as a kid. And I just think that there is a questionable change of how they promoted themselves as of the last year. Am I the only one noticing this? Like, be for real with me, y'all, because I was so shocked that Essence would allow this to grace their main stage. And I thought that people would actually be calling out Essence magazine more than even the artist because it doesn't make sense if we're talking about what is on brand for them. But I see that the shift has also gotten to the publications where maybe they feel as though they can't speak against the grain because they have to be current and trendy to stay afloat. I don't know. I agree with NIGERIAN. I feel like this sexual revolution isn't going to garner the results that women think it is. I predict that most women will either be regretful of certain decisions or it will carry them for a long time where they have boxed themselves into something that they can't get out of. I will never view certain women differently than what they put out there, and that's the reality of your reputation actually being important. People often say that all publicity is good publicity, but I feel like that doesn't really pertain to Black women because any strike that we get is like double whammy. And I feel like the Black women who are mainstream artists, public figures, and even some of these companies and publications are hindering Black women as a collective. I'm gonna get dragged. I'm not sure why Janelle Monae has shifted her presence, but it is interesting to see that we pay attention to her more because of this. I loved her in the Glass Onion movie. I thought the movie was great. I watched it and I was loving it. She did a great job basically playing herself twice. She played her and her twin sister. I don't know. I don't think that this is going to age well, and I feel like if you're still relying on your sexual assets to propel you as a woman, you gotta have a little bit more self-esteem than that. Pretty privilege and sex appeal definitely helps you as a woman, and I say use it, but you have to do it in an appropriate way. I would be lying if I said that me walking into a room knowing that I be double caked up every day doesn't garner certain looks my way from both men and women. But there is a time and place for everything, and lately Black women have been promoting this idea of sexual exploitation in environments where it doesn't belong, and that's really my issue with all of this.